Welcome to episode 1 of Ideally 12. Today I'm going to be talking about my first video game, which was actually a movie game, which are notorious for being, well, terrible. This is the SpongeBob SquarePants movie video game. I got this, I don't know when, right after it came out. As you can tell by the case, it's a pretty cheesy looking game, and a very, very worn copy of the game. I remember seeing commercials for this and being incredibly hyped, and I remember begging my mom to get it for me. I didn't actually own a GameCube at the time. I actually shared one with my brothers. But I remember really wanting the game. And my mom's boyfriend at the time actually took me to get it one day when I was around 4 or 5, I believe. And I remember being so hyped to get it that a few days before that I'd spent all day running around the apartment, imagining what the game would be. And I would do different faces for different characters. So I'd do an angry face for Squidward and stuff. I imagined running through those jellyfish fields from the TV series, catching jellyfish. I imagined maybe playing that one episode. I think there's one where SpongeBob and Patrick go jellyfishing and Squidward won't go with them. So I think I either made that up or remember rehearsing it or something. So yeah, I was incredibly hyped to get this game. This was actually the first game I myself owned. And at the time, when me and my brother shared a GameCube, it was in their room. And so I didn't play this a lot. But when I'd go to my mom's boyfriend's place, he had a GameCube as well. And I would play it there, but he didn't have a memory card. And there was these really annoying platforming puzzles in the game where not only would you have to make your way from start to finish, but sometimes the blocks would fall from under you. They'd be different shapes. They'd spin, they'd rotate, some would disappear faster than others, some would rotate faster or slower or not at all, or they'd rotate and drop. And I was terrible at these. So not having a memory card meant every time I turned the console off, I would have to start all over again. And I remember beating this one particularly hard, rage-inducing puzzle and realizing that in a couple hours when I turned off the machine, it wouldn't matter. And I remember getting actually incredibly upset over this because, I was only 4 or 5 years old. But yeah, this game holds a pretty special place in my heart. I've never actually beat it, but it was the subject of many weekend nights playing it and doing the same levels. Oh yeah, and you could drive the hamburger or whatever they make in the show. But yeah, I also remember not being good at those levels either. Yeah, so I guess this is the introduction episode, and I wanted to start it off. I thought it would be appropriate to start it off with the first game I ever had. Not the first game I played, but the first one I owned. And this is actually the same version of the game that I got all those years ago. I lost a lot of my games throughout the years, or they were, borrowed by friends and never returned. But this is one I would never lend out. And the game actually isn't even in the case, because it's in a game case separate from this. Ooh, look at the manual. Even that's all beat up. I think I actually doodled in this. I'm going to check real quick. So yeah, when I just said doodled, it's not doodling. I don't know if this was me or one of my younger siblings that did this, but I have a hard time believing that even at 5 years old I would do this. So I think this might have been my little brother. Yeah. Of course, this was back in the days when games actually came with manuals, and they used to come with these They'd come with advertisements for other games, and they'd have a notes section where you could write things down. I never did that. I would always just look things up online because I'm a cheater. Yeah, that was actually my first game. And really quickly, I also wanted to go over my second game. This one's also pretty beat up. It's not even in the case properly. Excuse me. Kirby's Air Ride, also for the GameCube. This was my second game. I don't remember exactly when I got it, and I don't remember playing it as much as SpongeBob. At least not initially. I remember once I got to grade 1 or so, I used to have friends over and we used to play this because I believe it's at least 2-player. It's up to 4 players, yeah. And it used to be really fun to play because you'd get dropped in this like city and you'd all ride around for like 5 minutes or something. And then whoever had the most power-ups and stuff, you'd all fight in a small arena. And it was always really fun because you could steal other people's power-ups before that and whatnot. So it was really fun. I don't really have too much more to say about this. I just kind of wanted to go through the first 2 games I'd ever got. These are both important games to me. These are both games I played a lot as a kid. A lot. And this one in particular was the source of many thrown controllers for those stupid platforming things. But this game, I remember always having a blast playing. Because this was back in the days of couch multiplayer where you'd actually have to sit next to the people you wanted to play. And I remember just having an absolute blast with both of these games. So I thought that a good way to start this 12-part series would be to introduce you to the 2 games that kicked it all off. The next video will be a slightly shorter video about the first handheld console I ever owned. So you can check that out if you want to. And thank you, bye.